Hello beady friends, as promised, our first video tutorial for learning the raw stitch. So we will be realizing this kind of bracelet. It's a simple rope using basic raw, and it's very pretty as a bracelet or as a rope to put on for pendants. I also made a smaller, shorter rope and attached a Briolette Swarovski, and it makes a very cute earring. So you will need size 10 needles for beading, Fireline thread in either size 005, so 4 lb, or 6 lb, 006 inches. Whichever you have home, it's fine. I used 4, but 6 will work too. Cut about 3 feet of thread and put it on the needle. You will need then 2 colors of size 11 round beads. I used 431 in green and 356 in purple from Miyuki. I always only use Miyuki beads. I prefer them to Toho. They're just nicer for me. For my explanation, I will be using size 8 round beads because they're bigger and it's easier for you to see. So my module will come out slightly bigger, so you'll be able to see better. And then I'll show you the smaller rope made with the other colors. So for now, I put the gray, which is my primary color, will be my base color, and then the blue will be my accent color. So I put 8 size 8 gray beads on the thread. I've done that already. And then with your needle, pass through the first bead. And it's important that you take it from where your rope thread is coming out. Pull it. It becomes a circle. Be careful to keep your rope thread and pull it tight. I've left about 10 centimeters of tail thread that will be needed to be closed later. And then pass through again all your other beads in the circle, respecting their order. So through all the 8 beads, 3 more. Here you go. So that my ring is nice and tight. Now to finish it off, pass through the last bead that you find in front of you, the one that has the tail thread out, and pull tight. Now the circle is nice and snug. We have to add the accent beads. So add a blue bead to your needle, pass through the next 2 gray beads of the circle. Here you go. And you see that the blue bead goes in between the gray ones. New blue thread, a blue bead, and go through the next 2 gray beads of the circle. You see how the diamond is coming into shape. Take a new blue bead and go through the next 2 grays. Last blue bead, there's 4 accent beads for each module, and pass through the last 2 gray beads. Now, important, I'm left-handed, so my thread is working counterclockwise. If you're right-handed, probably your needle will be working the other way around. That's fine, just to tell you, because it sometimes confuses people. Here you go. This is the first module finished. Now, to continue and create our next module, we have to come out one of the blue beads. We're already doing that. To continue, we start and add 8 new gray beads for the base of the next module. So 4, 6, and 8. Put them on the thread and then pass through the blue bead once again from the opposite side from where your thread is coming out. Pull tightly and you'll have a new ring. This time it's not necessary to pass through your beads again. Just pass through the first 2 gray beads, respecting their order. So the first 2 that you find in front of you. add a new blue bead, and go through the next 2 gray beads of the ring. Pull tightly if it's not tight enough. Yep, here we go. Tension is very important in this work. The tighter you pull on the thread, the nicer your work will be. Pull through the next 2 gray beads of the ring, adding a blue bead. Here you go, almost done. Last blue bead of the module, and go through the 2. So you might have noticed that instead of adding 4 blue beads, we've actually only added 3, because the 4th one is actually the one that is shared between the 2 modules. So here, instead of going through the blue bead, we will skip it and go through only the 2 gray beads next to the ring to make the corner actually, which we haven't done in the beginning. And then we have to go just back through the other blue bead that we find in front of us, the next 2 gray, if you can manage all it together or do it separately, it's the same thing. So next gray bead, and lastly through the blue bead. Practically, to start a new module, you have to come out the blue bead, which is opposite the one where you started from. So we started from here, and we start again from here. So opposite bead. Once again, repeat. 8 gray beads. Okay, I made another module. I'm not going to continue with this work because the 8 beads are too big to make anything of it. But right now we're going to learn how to attach the clasp. So first things first, my bracelet is long 22 units plus the 2 units for the clasp. And it measures 16 centimeters for a normal wrist. So you just have to make the length that you need for your own wrist. So pick and choose and make as many modules as you need and you see fit. Okay, so I'll show you how to attach the clasp. The clasp is made from a jump ring and a smaller jump ring that is attached to it because I like having space between my clasp and not having it too rigid on the wrist. And then a lobster clasp and again another smaller jump ring. So this time our module will be smaller because our modules, the base for any raw unit can be made with a number of even number beads dividable by 4. So right now we're using a base of 8 beads, but you can use 4, you can use 12, and so on. Right now we'll make a smaller unit, so we'll add only 4 gray beads for the base module. We will pass through the jump ring of your clasp, one of the 2 halves, and then once again close going through the blue bead of the beginning from the opposite side, making your circle. Now my jump ring is too small for these 8 beads, but once you use the 11 beads, you'll see that it fits perfectly. So go through just the first gray bead, not 2, but 1. Pick up a blue bead and go through the next gray. So we will be adding in total 3 blue beads. And we will only be skipping or moving 1 bead at a time. So go through the next gray bead. And then last blue bead, go through the gray one. And you can see how I've made a smaller module. Just like in the beginning, skip the blue bead that is in conjunction with the 2 modules and pass through the gray one. And here you go. You see that my module is smaller. Made like this with 8 beads, it could even work for a bracelet, I think. But in any case, this is the module that you have to make for your clasp. Do the same thing on the beginning with your tail thread and then close it. So here you see it with size 11 and you see that my jump ring fits perfectly. In my case, for the 11s, I decided to use for the clasp modules only the color of the accent because I liked it more. I thought it made it sparkle a bit more. But you can do whatever you prefer. You can use both colors, just one color, primary, secondary, whatever you prefer. So I made the module with the purple and the green. It's not easy to see because the purple is shiny, so it's very difficult to focus it, but I made the module to show you how to make the earring version. So I made 11 modules. For the earring, I made 12 total plus the briolette. Like here you see it. So I'll show you how you make the module. It's like the clasp module. So you put 4 beads of the primary color, in this case purple. Go through from the opposite side from the bead from the last module, the green one. So you form the ring, go through the first purple bead of the base, add a green bead, pull tight, add another green bead, and through the next purple bead, last green bead, and through the last purple bead. Here you go. Then again, you skip the green bead and go through the purple bead next to it. And we have to move once again to come out from this green bead to be able to add the briolette. So move, passing through the beads. Here you go. Now to add the briolette, it's very simple. Add 1 bead. I usually use the color in contrast to the briolette. So since I have green briolettes, I'm putting 1 purple bead, go through the briolette, another purple bead, and then we go through circle through the green beads. So once again, from the opposite side from where your needle, from where your thread is coming out. Pull tightly, and here you go. Then to finish it off, you go through the purple bead, the first one, the one you find next to your needle. Add a new purple bead. Go through the briolette again. New purple bead. Go through the purple bead on this side. We're going circle to go back through the green bead in the end. And then once again through the green bead. And now I'll have to pull it because it came undone. Here you go. And this is my briolette, nicely attached. Now you can go through this whole circle of beads, including the briolette once again, or another twice, to get it nice and tight. And this will be your earring. Since I attach usually this kind of earring finding, I put it through the first module. So the tail thread you just have to close through. How do you close the thread? That's something that I haven't showed you. So I'll show you. Well, I'm switching it to the tail thread to show you. We use a half hitch knot, it's called. It's used in sewing as well. Tricky needle, here we go. So you have to be in between 2 beads, whatever 2 beads. It's easier if you're coming out from an accent bead in this case. And with my needle, I went and picked the thread between the 2 beads. So my needle is actually caught on the thread. Pull through, you get a ring of thread, go through the thread and pull. So you've made a knot around your thread. Then you have to move a few beads over. So to the next accent bead and do it again. So thread under, the thread between the 2 beads, go under the thread between the 2 beads, get a loop, pass through the loop with your needle, pull through tightly, and you've knotted. Move a few beads and you can cut this thread actually. And that's it. So you'll find on our shop, which is www.happybead.it. And that's it. You have to just add the finding, cut the thread on the other end, ending it the same way with the hatch hitch knot. If you want to shop some of the kits for these bracelets and earrings, you can go on our site. It's www.happybead.com. And you will find the kits both for these earrings in turquoise and black, and the purple and green earrings, all blue with the light blue briolette, and then gray and pink like our bracelets. You'll find both kits for the bracelets and kits for the earrings. So have fun and enjoy. Take care.